Consultations on proposed alternatives to a VAT increase started this week. Politicians and Treasury are in a race against time to find alternative revenue sources to plug the gap that would have been covered by a VAT increase. BOSA leader Musi Maimane has hailed the discussions with the ANC as constructive.
Much of the discussion was focused on how we can achieve a way of alleviating this VAT. The best ways, which we shared with the African National Congress, we're really focused on how we can grow the economy, invest more in productive assets. We looked at the best ways as to how we can increase revenue by amending legislation that would make online gambling and sports betting a sin tax, which would accrue more revenue. We also looked at some of the expenditure cuts, as we've proposed ways about how we allocate certain expenditure to ensure that we reduce the demand for VAT. Things like reducing foreign missions, looking at how some of the funding in the National Empowerment Fund is allocated, looking at how we rationalize some of the SOEs in order that we stop bailouts.
The PAC has thrown its weight behind the budget presented by the Minister of Finance, Enoch Godongwane, stating that it's a myth that VAT increases solely affect the poor.
The PAC yesterday held a constructive meeting with the ANC to discuss the current budget framework, with particular focus on the contentious proposed VAT increase. The PAC rejects a tax policy that burdens the poor. If a VAT increase is unavoidable, it must be temporary, targeted, tied to real structural reform that address corruption, inefficiency, and elite tax evasion. We don't support a VAT hike that deepens poverty. If implemented, VAT must be reduced to 14% within 3 years, tied to fiscal discipline and anti-waste measures. South Africa loses billions annually to corruption and waste. Fix the broken state first before squeezing more out of the poor household.
Negotiations over the budget continue, with the ANC also engaging other political formations. Samkele Masego, SABC News, Johannesburg.